We want to celebrate the Hall of Fame area directors, the people who got 100% of their club visit reports in by the end of October. These wonderful names include a division director, Sankar, who did 100% of Area E4's reports. Take a look at these names and celebrate them. And let's move to the next slide. These are other area directors who got 100% of their club visit reports in by the end of November. Not Hall of Fame material, but let's celebrate them as well, including the two directors who got more than 75%, got 80% of their reports in. There is someone from every one of the divisions on each of these slides. This is great. The season for the next report opened up on December the 1st. We, speaking as one of the trio, we read all of the club visit reports, and we thank you for those visits and getting to know your clubs and being the liaison between the district and the clubs, remembering, as always, that the member is the most important person, and our district rises and falls based on how good that member experience is. Roll to the next slide. You know what we do for clubs. We help them become distinguished. We do it through the core values. We tell the truth. We have a mindset of service. And of course, we start now for the second round. You want to serve the needs of the clubs and their members, either through your area councils, and you want to visit them so that you're not a stranger and so that you really know your clubs, because Sally, Linda, and I can't know all of your clubs as well as you can. Roll to the next slide. We know some clubs are different than others. If you have clubs that are always presidents distinguished, they may need something different than a club that is no longer delivering the core of what we do at Toastmasters, that is prepared speeches, extemporaneous speaking, and evaluations. If you visit a club and all they're doing is table topics, then they need different treatment than you visit a club that has been President's Distinguished for the last 25 years. You know that. I felt the need to remind you. Roll to the next slide. Here is where I live. I live at these numbers. In terms of club growth, we have 30 clubs that have a higher active club membership than their base. 30 clubs. That's worth celebrating. We have 16 clubs that are at the number of their base members. In other words, if they started the year with 19 members, they currently have 19 members. Does that mean that they're the same 19 members? No. It takes member growth to stay even. We have 73 clubs that have a lower current active membership than their start of the year base membership. As you visit your clubs, you need to know what can be done. A fabulous meeting, a meeting that does the elements I just talked about, prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluations in an excellent way, in a superior way, that's a club that will get members. So every club meeting needs to be excellent. Let's look at the Distinguished Club Program goals. Well, we have 15 clubs that are at 5 or greater. We have one club, City Speech, that has 8 Distinguished Club Program goals at the moment. Well, how did they do that? Look at their level 1. They have 10 of those. So they're getting new members, and they're getting new members to give their icebreaker. And then the next few speeches, and by getting new members involved in pathways, they're cementing them into the Toastmasters way, and that's great. Can you do that sort of thing? Well, of course you can. You can do that with all of your clubs. We have 10 clubs that have 4 DCP goals and 18 that have 3. Each DEC meeting, I talk about what it will take for us to be Smedley distinguished. We'll need 64, or over half our clubs, to be distinguished. Are we on the road? Well, yeah, of course we're on the road. We're in a very good place. Do we need to go to the clubs and find out what their needs are? Yes. Put that in your next club visit reports. We can team up. If you have a problem as an area director, go to your division director. And if you and your division director can't figure it out, kick it on up the stairs. We're here for your members. Here's something that I don't really like to talk about, and that is club status. Last time I talked about the fact that you could read the Toastmasters Club Status Guide. It's 377A. And it will tell you what it means to be low, ineligible, or suspended. And what you need to know for the contest season is, if your club, if you're not an active member of an active club, then you can't compete. So people who are in a low club can't compete in contests. And we've got 8 of those clubs. 4 of those 8 have 7 members. In other words, they need 1 more member. Their club visit reports, 2 of those 4 clubs exceeded expectations with 7 members. So clearly, if they're doing what they need to do, they're going to get another member, and you might have to help them. One of those clubs meets expectations, and a couple of them are ineligible. We have 2 clubs that are suspended. You'll hear Linda tell you about 2 new clubs that chartered. Why are we not at the paid clubs that we started with? Because of this club status. How difficult should it be? Not that difficult. 1 more member at 4 of those clubs. We'll have 4 more clubs on the dashboard. The 3 clubs that are ineligible, and ineligible means they might have 6 members, but 3 people didn't renew from the last time. So that's a tough road. 2 of those are in E18. reminded us what our goals are at the bottom of this slide. Go to the next slide to give us a little higher view. This is what we started out with. 115. Our goal is 121. We currently are at 102. So if you take those 8 clubs that I talked about, we'd be at 110. And if somehow the ineligible clubs rolled around, we would be very close to our base, that is 115. Our base payments are there on the screen. You know what we want in the end is 4,600. We're doing well. And if we continue, and we hope to continue to charter clubs, we'll let Linda talk about that. That will give us the momentum to get to our Smedley payments goal. And of course, Sally is so terrific that she will get us to our 64 club goals for distinguished clubs. It's more than half. That means you need to check in with your clubs and tell us if something is going awry. Next slide. Sometimes you have to do shovel work when really what you want to do is something more glamorous. You want to show up, maybe have the club offer you a speech slot, do a speech you're working on. You want to be a celebrity. But sometimes you have to do shovel work that's not glamorous. If the club has recently become hybrid and they've lost members, then you may need to help call those past members who decided not to come to Toastmasters anymore because they were as tired of being in the little box. You may need to give your clubs help of a sort that you just don't want to do. Remember that delivering for the members in District 57 is what we're about. And Sally, Linda, and I will give you all the help we can. Your division directors will give you all the help they can. But sometimes the shovel work has to be done. It is now my exquisite pleasure to introduce Sally. Sally Philbin.
Unmute, yes. I am sorry that I have not been able to change my name because every time I pull it up, I have to change a slide, and you just can't do both of those things at once. So just know I'm a program quality director for District 57, and this is a team effort. And part of the reason that I am having such a good time this year is because people keep stepping up to help. And I've got a few examples of those. First, may I call upon Maureen Filler, who's going to talk to us about the TLI.
Thank you so much, Sally. I appreciate it. As you can see by the slide deck, we do have Winter Toastmasters Leadership Institute scheduled for Saturday, January 20th. It's going to be a wonderful event.
Oh, 2024, sorry. 2024, typo.
I wasn't even looking at the typo. We were talking about that last night. Anyway, what I wanted to say is that I am looking for trainers. I'm looking for room monitors, tech hosts. I'm also looking for people to do our little basically lightning talks, a quick 5 minutes. And I already have one person that signed up to help me, and I'm really excited about this. More to follow. Here's the thing you need to remember. Officer training for January 20th of 2024 is applicable for officers who are serving annual terms between July 1st of 2023 and June 30th of 2024, or the 6-month terms that would be beginning January 1st of 2024, ending June 30th of 2024. I want everybody to be clear on that. And yes, there will be makeup sessions. And unfortunately, the makeup sessions could be scheduled at the same time as the remaining club contests, possibly at the beginnings of area contests. For that, I apologize. We went through this last year. We got through it. I know we can do this again. It'll be great. If you are interested in helping as any of those functions, trainer, tech host, room monitor, or you have a wonderful topic to suggest for one of our little talks, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or to Sally, and we'll get you on our schedule. Thank you so much. Back to you, Sally.
All right. Thank you, Maureen. Next, another person who stepped up, and that is Venkat Raman, and I'm going to stop my share so that he can start his. So let me just get my cursor down here. And it's all for you, Venkat. And you need to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Sally. Sorry for the time taken. Let me do one thing before I actually start, which means I will be sharing the slide deck in the chat for people to download before I forget. Okay. I hope you see all of you see the file shared. Now we are off to talking about contest. Contest prep. It's the season to talk about contest. What we cover today will be the basics. You will be amazed at how basic the basics are. And then the contest prep training plan, that's more interesting to you, I would imagine. And the essentials, which is going beyond the basics, but still just a tidbit of information that will be useful for you today. And training will cover a lot of other information that will take longer to cover. And then finally, a couple of slides of resources, which you should be able to use using the deck that I just shared. Now, the basics. We are going to have international speech contest dictated by Toastmasters International, and the evaluation contest decided on by District 57. How basic can you get in terms of information? But at the same time, we should remember what else could have been done and what we are not doing, which is the 3 other contest types that are possible, but not this year. Getting back to the 2 contests, it's important for us to remember these are 2 separate independent contests. What does that mean? Can be held at different times or in the same event, one after the other. You have seen both of them happen in the previous years, I'm sure. The important thing to remember is that they can be staffed differently. If it's the same event, there's a tendency to assume that the same staff has to be there, staff meaning judges, ballot counters, and other roles. But they can be done differently. If situation warrants it. This is the basic required reading, the rule book. And you have the slide deck. The get it here is the live link there. If you don't have the rule book already, you're welcome to use that and get it and download it and read it. It's the Bible. Now we'll move on to the training plan. We are planning 4 training modules. First one is the planning and recruitment, which is the beginning, obviously. Includes the eligibility criteria for different roles and defensive planning. What does that mean? How do you staff your contest so that if somebody doesn't show up, the contest doesn't fall flat on its face? That kind of defensive plan. We'll cover things like that in the first module. Second module talks about how the contest will start, how it will flow, who will come in and go, and how the progression will happen, including contest chair, sergeant at arms, contest chair, Toastmaster, and the like. So it will include tech hosting and ballot management. The third module will talk about judging process. How does judging work? So I don't want to elaborate here, but it will include the balloting process and how the chief judge makes it all happen. And the fourth one is tentative right now, but I'm sure it will happen. Working with a full-blown contest script, which is going into the nitty-gritty details of contest communication that makes sure that things don't stall during the contest. The schedule is module 1 is what we are talking about right now, firmly scheduled for tomorrow and Wednesday, the 13th. Modules 2 through 4 are tentative and it will be announced later, typically like January, February, and March. Registration is open for training module 1. There are 2 links here, and in the deck that you received, those links should be live. So even if you don't have access to them from anywhere else, you should be able to click on them and choose your date. You only need to register for one of them. They are the same content. You are welcome to register for both if you like, but you only need one of them. Why should you register? It's a whole hour, not like 10 minutes or something. So we can go into the detail and have you better understand what it takes to run a successful contest. And you may have questions, and you should have enough time to answer them. Questions can be simple or complex, or some subtle ones too. Questions like, which contest role should the contest chair try to fill first? Can anyone sign up to become an evaluation contestant? Can someone with no Pathways project completion sign up to become an international speech contestant? Can a contestant also serve as a ballot counter? There are more questions that can be answered, that will be answered. So don't wait. Register if you haven't already registered. Now for the essentials. We know the contest tier, club area, division, and district, and we are interested in the timeline, when this should happen. District is already been pegged on May 11, 2024 for both the contests. Division contest should happen in March 2024 per Sally's email before, but I think it's not important right now because all the divisions have scheduled their contests and they're all conforming to before April 11th. Before April 11th is a requirement by Toastmasters. Area contest, February 2024, but really speaking, it should be definitely 2 weeks before the division contest. The division contest is late March. You have 2 weeks before that, and you do have some time to bleed into March. Club contest should be generally in January 2024. Again, should be 2 weeks before the area contest for your club. And among all these things, there are some variations that are allowed, as you can see, but there are 2 dates that are very strict. These are contest scheduling tips. If you are still not scheduled for a contest, division contests are all scheduled, so you can ignore that. Area contests should usually be scheduled at 6 or 6:30 on a weeknight, but Saturday morning and Sunday afternoon may also work. Look at the District 57 calendar and choose a date subject to the following constraints. If there is a division contest on any date, you cannot have it on that date. At most, 2 area contests on any date. So some dates are already taken up with 2 area contests. You cannot do that, so you should choose an alternate date. And once you have decided what you want to do, submit your chosen date. That's the link again, accessible from the deck that I shared. Do this now, not during the DECM, but right after, if you can. Contest mode, what do I mean? Virtual or hybrid. That's the word from Toastmasters for this year. No in-person contest at the area, division, or district level. District contest for District 57 will be hybrid. That's a decision that has been taken. But an additional to the decision that was taken, division and area contest must be virtual. Not the must. The reason is a lot of practical reasons. I won't go into them, but there is a decision that you need to abide by. So all your contests, area and division contests, must be virtual. But when it comes to club contests, can be in any mode. I believe even in-person contests are allowed at the club level. No one can say what the club should do, kind of. Club contest. At this time, I would like to invite Han to take over the speaking, to go through some details about club contest. Hans, are you there?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to cover some brief information because as area directors, this is one of the first questions we usually get. What do I need to do related to club contests? The first responsibility you have is to motivate the clubs to actually have a contest. It's totally optional. Clubs are not required to do it. And yet it's a great experience for everyone. As Venkat said, we need the clubs to do it in January if they're going to do it. They can hold either a speech contest, an evaluation contest, or both. However, they're not required to, and we're going to talk about what happens if they do not have a contest. If they don't have a contest, they can nominate contestants to proceed to the area contests. And that's covered in the third bullet point here. They can nominate a contest using any process, meaning they can go talk to someone they feel would be good, or they can allow people to nominate themselves. If they do choose to have a contest, it must adhere to the rule book, just like any other contest. And like last year, one contestant will be sent for, as a speaker and another for an evaluator to the area contest. And a special note about that, they can be the same person. We had a couple instances of that last year. Now, if you're an area director, I said one of your responsibilities is to motivate and inform your clubs about contest and ensure that they understand those options. By passing this information to the club members, that prepares them to prepare for the contest. And one important note is they have to be eligible. They have to have certain educational requirements. They need level 1 and level 2 of pathways or a DTM. So imagine if someone has level 1 and they're interested in competing. Well, someone needs to tell that person as quickly as possible so that they can finish level 2 by, in the next couple months. Now, an note at the bottom there, you're not required to participate in your contests, but it is definitely encouraged. Okay, so we want you to understand that you're not required to manage or micromanage or oversee those club contests. It's encouraged to attend them, though. That's all we're saying. Now, for area contest, you do need to hold a contest. Each area must have a contest because if someone is competing, they have to proceed through a chronological order from the club to the area to the division. Let's skip a step. But here's the good news, the fantastic news. You can combine efforts with another area, and that'll make life easier for both of you. That has been done many, many times in the past, and we call that a dual area contest. Having a dual area contest can increase turnout because you're attracting spectators who want to see people from both areas, from 2 areas. It'll also make it easier to fill the roles because less will be necessary. Fewer volunteers will be necessary. What happens typically is that the contestants from the first area would speak first, then the ballots would be collected and counted, and then the contestants from the second area would speak. The same judges would judge both areas. So that makes life a lot simpler. And you would also need only one test speaker. So hopefully that answers questions about that. It's a very good tool to save work on your part. All right. And director responsibilities, like I've said before, you're not required to attend club contests. It's certainly encouraged. They can manage their club contests however they want. Okay. They can do it online. They can do it in person. For your contest, however, as an area director, you typically will serve as the contest chair for your area contest, unless you find someone else to do it. And that's definitely encouraged because we don't want you to take on the entire workload. If you go out there and you recruit for a contest chair, it's going to make life a lot easier for you. And the same goes for division directors. Go out there as soon as you can and find a contest chair, because that person will be heading up recruiting for all the other roles. They're going to find the chief judge, it just makes life a lot easier for you as a director. Staffing process requires filling a lot of roles, and the number of roles required is different for each type of contest. Let's take a look at that. Next slide here. I'm not going to go over this in detail, but obviously the bigger the contest, the more volunteers are required. You need more judges, more ballot counters, and we'll go over this in more detail in a future training. But we encourage you to start as soon as possible, because whoever the contest chair is will need to get a head start on finding those people. Now, the next component that we're going to cover today is all about the resources that we're making available for you on the district website. Those include the contest rulebook, which changes every year. You will note that if you download the most recent rulebook, anything that has changed will have an asterisk at the left side of the page near that item that has changed. Another item is the site which you will reserve your date. You've probably heard this before, but we want everyone to use the D57 calendar to put their contest on, so that it's booked, so that everyone can see it, and so that we don't have many overlapping dates. We also have a couple trainings coming up. The first one is tomorrow. And there's a choice of two, either tomorrow or Wednesday. They're identical trainings, so you do not need to attend both. And you can register for those on the site as well, okay? Also on the website is the contest resource page, which has tons of information. So we encourage you to click these links and get all the resources you need. But again, we'll be starting on the training process tomorrow or Wednesday. Take your pick, and we hope to see you then. All right, any questions on all that we discussed currently?
I have a question.
Yes, Elliot.
Yeah, thank you. I met with the speech committee, the contest committee, and so the PR, I'll be presenting a little bit more how to register, how to find out information about contests when I give my report. So I just wanted to clarify that. There'll be more tools as well.
Oh, during your part of this meeting?
Right.
Right. Anyone else? Any questions about contests in general? All right, I think we can head it off. Back to Sally.
Alrighty, thank you
I'm sorry,
so much.
I had a question in the chat. I was away from my mic. Do you see my question in the chat about the console? About ballot
Yeah, and you
counters?
got an answer to that question in the
Okay,
chat.
I'm sorry. Okay, great.
Okay, good. Let me go back to all right. And I am also so excited. Let's see if it will move here for me. Announcing, wait for it. We have 2024 co-conference chairs. Cynthia Stott, DTM, and Lisa Thompson, DTM, both experienced Toastmasters who have been in Toastmasters for quite some time. We met yesterday to go over the preliminaries, and I'm telling you, they were on top of it. So thank you to Cynthia and Lisa for stepping up. We are going to have a fabulous conference in 2024. So thank you so much. Oh, I meant to take that out, so I will move on. I wanted to share with you the monthly training schedule so far. As mentioned, December 10th and December 13th are the contest trainings. We also have on Monday, the 11th, excellent speech evaluation. This training is intended for those who just want to get better or who would be interested in being part of the speech evaluation contest this coming year. So either way, please come out. We've got a special guest presenting during that meeting, and I'm very, very excited about that. We had a club coach training last month. We're going to put on another club coach training on December the 20th. Folks need to step up and volunteer and get approval before January 1st, 2024, so that they can get their full 6 months of club coaching in by the end of the program year. So when they move their club to distinguished, the club they've been assigned to coach to distinguished, they will get credit. They need a minimum of 6 months as a club coach. So I'm encouraging everybody who is even this much interested in taking on a club coach role to come on out to our club coach training on December the 20th. Now in January, on the 9th, we're invigorating our excellent club meeting series, and that first one will be on January the 9th. PLI, January the 20th from 9 to 12. And also on January 20th from 1 to 3 is an area and division director refresher. So we encourage all of the area and division directors to attend that training, to ask questions based on experiences that you've had so far this year, and to hear things over again that you may have missed in the first training. So we've got great trainings laid out for all of us this coming year. Yes, I come to you to kind of beg your forgiveness. I've had some health issues and have not been on top of the mini club and moments of truth reporting for District Bucks. That will get done within the next probably 2 weeks, so please bear with me, and it will happen. I want to remind people, let me see here, that there are two things going on with the mini club success plan and the moments of truth. There are the early bird completions of those two activities. And those have been submitted, and that's what I'm going through to confirm who met those early bird requirements. And for those, there's a $25 District Buck incentive. But moving on, there is an opportunity for clubs to double dip. Oh, yes. Did I say double dip? And I meant it, because we have another incentive, which is the club success incentive. If a club achieves 5 DCP goals by December the 31st, 2023, regardless of your membership numbers, okay, regardless of your membership numbers, and you complete a mini club success plan by December 31st, okay, this is a different date because this is a different incentive, even though it's the same activity, and conduct a Moments of Truth by December 31st, 2023, and post all of that stuff by January 30th, 2024, you're eligible for a $75 District Buck incentive. And why is that? Well, we are after member success. We are after Smedley Distinguished. We are after bragging about the success of our district at our conference next summer. And the way to do that is by achieving these goals. That's where the rubber hits the road. And that's why we have this double dipping. These two, MOT and the Club Success Plan, are so important. They are planning documents, but they're important because they're an opportunity for club leadership to practice this aspect of club leadership. And these concepts are ones that you can use in your other volunteer organizations, at your work, wherever. You can use these. And so that's why we're allowing the double dipping, so that if you manage to earn this incentive, then after the first of the year, your goal is to make sure you meet membership, make sure those April dues come in, make sure you find new members, so that by the end of the year, you are full-fledged distinguished. And you've got it going on based on this. Cynthia, you've got your hand up?
Yeah. So is that $75 incentive for if you have 5 DCP goals only, or do you also have to have the MOT and the mini success plan in addition to the 5?
You have to have all of those things. It's a package deal. And that's why I'm talking about those things for this particular incentive are due by December 31st in terms of having done them. So you'll go into the incentives and you'll see, oh, Mini Club Success Plan, that was due November. Why is this one saying December? Why? Because it's a different incentive package. That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not wrong. It's just different.
Well, my question, because I think this incentive didn't say MOT and mini success
It
plan
does.
with,
It does say. It does say. It says exactly that. I've been
oh,
back through
now
it,
it
and it
does.
does say.
Okay.
Well, I think it always
Okay.
did. It
I've got
was
to make
there.
sure that
Yeah.
our clubs know that, because some of them didn't do one or the other, and
Okay.
we've got to make sure they got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty important. You're welcome. Venkat.
I just want to clarify. I think you said this before, but make sure, because of the due dates are December 31st. If you have already completed mini success plan, you don't have to do another one. That counts. And MOT, if you've already done early bird, you don't have to do it again. All you have to worry about.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're exactly correct. If you've done the early bird, you don't have to do it again. But if you didn't do the early bird, you still have the opportunity for this incentive to complete it by the end of December. Thank you, Venkat, for that clarification. Okay, Elliot, and then I'm going to get back to my presentation.
Right, and to piggyback right on Vinkat's clarification, there are separate incentives for, so let's say we don't get 5 DCPs, we still get the incentives for the mini club success plan being submitted, which is a separate one, correct? And then moments
only
of truth.
if you did it, only if you did it in the early bird.
That's what I'm asking. Perfect. There you go.
Only if it's done in the early bird time frame.
So you mean the previous deadline, not the one here?
Yes.
So that if I wanted to get this club success incentive and I didn't do the mini club success plan earlier before that deadline, I could still get this $75 if I complete everything on this checklist by December.
That's correct.
Awesome. Well, thank you. That's cool.
And then you have it until January 30 to actually get it entered into VIMS.
All right. Well, that gives people an impetus to do it. Rah, rah, go. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Club accomplishments. You know, this is a moving target. Every time I go into the dashboard, more and more clubs have achieved more and more DCP points. So my numbers may look a little different than Ed's because, like I say, it's constantly moving. So I have here that we've got 17 clubs that have, let me just look and see what it was in my last count, because I don't know whether 17 clubs that have achieved 5 or more DCP points already this year. And then we have 27 clubs, and this is a little different than what Ed had, but it's because it's a moving target, that have 3 or 4 DCP points. Those clubs, those 27 clubs, only need 1 or 2 more DCP points to hit this club success incentive if they have done those other 2 projects, which are the MOT and the mini club success. So I want to congratulate the clubs that are just moving up and moving forward. It's been fabulous. All right. OATM. Elliot doesn't know this yet, but I have revised and finalized the final OATM finally, and I'm going to be asking him to send that out, post it, get it up this week. So thank you so much, Elliot, for that. Yes, it's changed. Nothing has been taken off. So don't worry that you have worked on something and now won't get credit for it. What I've done is added credits for things at the club level. And things outside of Toastmasters. So I've added some exercises that people can do in order to earn their OATM credit. Oh, and one additional thing that I want to let people know. You may not know, but for the Triple Crown, District 57 has always held its members to a higher standard for the Triple Crown. In other districts, it's not considered such a big deal to get a Triple Crown. You can have 3 level 1s and earn a Triple Crown. And so they don't necessarily give plaques. They don't necessarily give more than a certificate. It just depends on the district. But here in District 57, because we hold our members to a higher standard, and we hand out plaques, and we make a big deal about the Triple Crown because it is a big deal. Here in District 57, from here on out, this is going to be called Triple Crown Elite. Okay, this is the Triple Crown Elite. And if you have ever gotten a Triple Crown in District 57, feel free to use that designation for that achievement, because we have always held our members to a higher standard, and we are now going to acknowledge that and recognize that. Slight change in the recognition title. So I just wanted to let people know that. Are there questions or thoughts or anything about anything that I've said today? Seeing none, there's one. Pravina.
Yes, my question, Sally, is regarding the incentive that says you get a Pathways medallion for completion of path irrespective of the Triple Crown. So I wanted to just clarify. Do you mean that once the reflect on your path is given and you get a certificate, you put the certificate in WIMS and you get a medallion for that?
You know, I'm going to have to go back and look. Let's take that offline and I'll get the answer out to everybody. I got crazy with trying to give recognition for different aspects of completing paths and levels and different things, and it's not in my head. So
thank you.
Thank you for asking, though, and I'll get back to you and the world on that. DeMarie?
Yes, I just want to ask, what is the cutoff date for the Triple Crown Award?
June 30th of each year, of each program year, excuse me.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, I think I will turn it back to Ed. And I think you're muted, Ed.
Thank you very much. It is my pleasure to introduce Linda Patton, our club growth director, who will talk about all sorts of things. Club growth.
Yeah.
Thank you, Linda.
Thanks, Ed. So as you know, my theme this year is Revitalize, Rebuild, and Reinvent. And we're doing some fun things right now. First of all, next slide. Sorry, Sally. We have a new club. Excel Orders chartered as of this month, and we are so excited about them. Sheila Chow has been just a spectacular sponsor, and she's been on top of it all the way along, and we want to welcome them all. We're finishing up with club officer training. I'm doing some work with their Pathways VP, and they are going great guns. And I thank Ashley Harkness for his due diligence as well as Lee Vaughn and Jill Arrington, who are going to mentor the club. So next slide. So this is what we've done this year so far. We've got 4: July, August, September, October. We're behind. We need 2 more to have 1 a month, but we're working on it. So who's going to be next? Let's go to the next slide. We still have in progress, and most of them are looking for additional members. So we have the Great Speakers Club in Oakland, needs a couple of more members. Data Dialogue is also stalled on their membership. Delta Dental did ask us to postpone until January because most of their employees go on vacation through November and December. So we're holding them for the first of the year. And Abbott Sweet Talkers, they just have like 2 members that they need, and they'll be ready to charter. Everything else is in, and so we're really excited. So we got 3 that are just at the tipping point to becoming new clubs. Sally, next. Now I'd like to introduce you to a man who needs no introduction, Ashley Harkness, who is my club extension chair. And he wants to talk to us about the Toastmasters corporate programs. And Sally, if you'd give him the ability to screen share, please.
Are you
morning,
good, Ashley? I
Toastmasters.
think you got it. Yeah, good.
Good morning, Toastmasters, and thank you for the top three for letting me give this presentation. We're looking at chartering corporate clubs. And in chartering a corporate club, what Toastmasters is seeking to do is to build a partnering structure with the corporations themselves. They need the skills we offer and teach. We need their membership and support. So as partners, we will help each other to achieve our goals. However, corporations have different driving forces. Their goals are on their success and profit. We need to recognize these differences. So let's start by hearing from an industrial leader. Okay. Got to get it up here first. Zoom the show. Hewlett-Packard CEO Leo Aptheker stated once in a meeting, to be successful, CEOs or a business leader, you have to present well. Now, in chartering a corporate club, Toastmasters seeks to build this structure so that they will have these skills. However, with their different forces, we need to recognize what it is that's important to them. Now, as a corporate purchaser in a corporation, there you have to ask the questions, what do I want in a Toastmaster program? That's a fair one. The answer is very basic. A partnership having corporate goals. Toastmasters has their own goals, but we need to recognize theirs. And as a result, Toastmasters have to really kind of step outside the box and think like a CEO themselves. Now, Toastmasters offers a tremendous amount of values that they want because our programs represent these attributes: commitment, accountability, evaluations, support for corporate growth, and return on investment. That spells profits. These driving forces are a key to their success, and actually to ours also. John D. Rockefeller once said, the ability to deal with people is a commodity that he would pay for. That ability more than anything else under the sun. Can you imagine that? So chartering a corporate club, building those kinds of relationships with those forces is the first way to start getting into how clubs will work for us. So how do we make it happen? Well, we have to get to know who they are. And that's a people-to-people organization. We need to be getting involved with the human resources. The question being, do you guys have internal training? Usually they say something like, well, no, our training costs a ton of money. Well, we have an answer for that. Toastmasters is relatively inexpensive. Do you have sponsors, champions? Are there stakeholders in the corporation who see that the ability to communicate better is an important part of every person's skills? Finally, do they know about our accomplishments? Do they know what you as a representative from Toastmasters brings to them to help them? All of these things are elements in partnering to make it happen. Now, there's another part to this. We in Toastmasters have a whole set of lingos that don't kind of fit. So let's take a look at fixing those. Instead of talking about, we're going to form a Toastmaster club, we should be speaking to them about a training program. They recognize that term. Meetings really are program sessions. And of course, a successful club is because it has a strategic plan, a heavily worded corporate thought. Now, they will recognize the word curriculum when you start talking about education, because that's what they do. They send people all the time off to get advanced trainings. Ours, we're dealing with paths. For them, it's curriculum. And as far as money that goes on, hey, they pay tuition to universities all the time. So rather than say dues, we call it tuition. There are milestones that they recognize. And for us, it's those pathways that we know about. So the key thing is to think of yourselves as participants in an executive training. So what does that mean? It means that when we are thinking about the leadership roles, we need to be considering different aspects of that. Let's talk about perhaps being the president of a club. Well, you're really the chief executive officer, and you lay us with the corporate sponsors. Of course, you are talking about return on investment activity and at a higher level. Our VP of Education is really talking about scheduling the professional agendas. You kind of see the drift here. The words are changing into something that they are going to recognize, especially about our officers. And then, of course, for membership, well, we're talking about new employee training and recruitment. They know this, and they know about access to programs. Oh, there's more. In public relations, corporations understand about publicizing achievements. We do too. Should be a very easy match. And as far as the role of treasurer, well, we're talking about the person who coordinates the internal paperwork to make sure that we get our reimbursement and everybody's doing the jobs they're supposed to be doing. The secretary, well, the secretary's job is learning about the agreements that are in the Toastmasters promise and accountability. You notice these are terms that corporations are going to recognize. There's more. They have open houses because they have people coming and going all the time. And so there's all kinds of opportunities for us to post notices, invite key decision makers to come in and observe. I did that once with a vice president out of a bank in Seattle. It worked to save a club that we were trying to save. The success stories come, and the guests, they come too. Key here is corporations are thinking in terms of accountability. They are very interested in responsibility and recognition, and we are also. Doesn't this sound very similar to the Distinguished Club Program? Well, yes, it is. They have their driving forces and we have ours. That's the key to it. Now, in the corporations, there's always an assessment of things going on. They look at everything. So do we. And our program is right there, Moments of Truth. All of the attributes of quality, responsibilities, effectiveness, satisfaction, and investment on returns are right there in Moments of Truth. We're set. They will understand. The key to it. We all know this. We've been through Moments of Truth. Does it set up things about first impressions? Do we learn about planning and organization? Do we show them that we know how to do that? And achievement recognition? Most definitely. When you go to a corporation, you speak their language. You speak Toastmasters, and you speak their language. These kinds of changes. It works. There is a paradigm shift, very much. Corporations are very interested in making sure that their people attain their goals. And many of them have gone to the internet and all kinds of systems like that. They have many different people in professional paths that range from being doctors who are on staff to engineers. There's places and pathways for all of those to learn better communication skills. A key point is that it is economical. Because if someone is sitting in an airplane traveling from one business location to another, they can operate with pathways just as easily as if they're in their home or in their office. Plus, for the corporation, progress is clearly visible. Anybody can access it, that's part of it, and they will see what's going on. It's a win-win situation, particularly with pathways. So let's keep them informed. This is another key element to a corporation's club. You have to constantly go to their sponsors on a regular basis, maybe once a month, and tell them what's going on. Ask for no more than 15 minutes. They'll give that to you. And then forecast what they're going to be doing for completions. You establish them as the representative to get the feedback to the rest of the corporations to show, hey, we're doing something really unique for us and it works. And it's making our corporation better. The key to all of this is very simple. You need to be thinking about corporations as Toastmasters in an entirely different way. They are interested in something that we are, development of their people, but their view is broader. With this, we can have successful corporate clubs that thrive and grow. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of them, new ones this year. Back to you.
Thank you, Ashley. I knew that would be absolutely fantastic. Sally, back to the slides. This is going to seem like a, yeah, anyway, next slide. So, as you know, we've talked about the fact that we need coaches, we need ambassadors. We have clubs that are in trouble. And so I love the fact that we're building new clubs, and Ashley is an integral part of making that happen. But there's the other side. There's a side that Julie Garrett isn't working on, which is how do we get the clubs that are challenged to move forward in the DCP program and to become more successful. As I told you last time, we need 47 club coaches. 47. At the moment, even after our most recent, how do you pass the test? We did not get anyone to take the training. We have another one, Sally, coming up the end of this month, right? And I want at least 50 people there saying, yes, I'm going to take the test, and yes, I want to coach a club to success. Imagine how good you'll feel in the new year to say, I brought this club back from the brink of death. We also need 30 club ambassadors. This is for the clubs that are between 13 and 19 members and with less than 5 DCP points. Coaches are critical. Club ambassadors are, I don't want to say nice to have, but they do really push those clubs that are just on the brink of being successful. The goal is to make them distinguished, to bring them up to charter size is where we'd like to be. We want to hit a home run. Next slide, please. So what does it mean for you? Attending those club meetings regularly, getting to know the club members. Why are they there? What do they want? What's their goal? What would excite them about being a Toastmaster again? Oftentimes these are long-serviced Toastmasters who have somehow lost the spark, and we want to set them on fire again. Promote a positive club culture. Sally's been doing a great job of helping us with that. Ashley and I have some ideas of some training that we want to do after the first of the year, and basically provide guidance on membership growth. How do we get those members? Open houses are key, but just picking up the phone, call past members. Hi, what you doing in the new year? We've got this wonderful thing going on, whatever that might be. Connect with people. And I think that's all I have, Sally. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sally. And thank you, Linda. I just want to make sure, Sally, did you refresh the slides like 5-10 minutes ago? Good. Thank you so much. All right. I'm always sort of like one more link, one more picture I can add to my slides. So welcome, everyone. November was a very busy month. And November at the very end was actually a little slowdown because of the holidays. And I hope everyone had great holidays. December, obviously, we have a bit of a recess for the holidays as well, but we have a lot going on. And next slide, please. So this is sort of my stats for this month. You've received 19 emails since November 10th for 6 different events and 4 target audiences. And on we go. You can see all the results, everything. I want to say one thing about Facebook. A lot more clubs are using Facebook for their open houses, and they're even posting events. I'll come back to that point in a minute. One other thing also with websites, we're actually finally taking out a lot of the old information. You clicked on some links. I got emails from people. Hey, this thing says 2017. Well, that's gone. So if we took something off, we tried to keep something that was maybe a year old, We're looking for updates from chairs or people that are running certain programs to give us some more updated information and a couple of available links for their program. Next slide, please. Now, here's this thing about flyers. Many clubs have been putting out what I would call world-class flyers. And I know, in fact, those are some world-class events that we should go to. So not only does District 57 put on some great trainings, and we had a great Train the Trainer training last Saturday, but I know that many of the clubs that you see these flyers for that are all posted in Facebook offer some great training opportunities as well. And one of the things that I think the trio has discussed, and I've talked to even Rose Kirkland, is that we are promoting world-class events on our Facebook page. So I finally even updated the modern Facebook banner that had people, I think, people from a while ago that were on there. So anyway, I want to just make sure that we are promoting our events alongside all of the other great events that are out there in Toastmasters International. Next slide, please. Now the website has been updated. You'll see there's a couple of menus that have also been updated. There's new contest resources right there, and you can see a link for that. The quick links will have many of the things that are continuing through the year, especially for area and division directors to go to. Please use our calendar. It's always up to date, along with all the other resources you have to access calendar, including the bulletins that we send out. Thank you. Next slide. Here's some things you need to start thinking about planning for, and you'll see the reason I put this here is you will see in emails links to request information and also things that you can be doing right now. For example, you can register for TLI. You can also give us information for your area contests, which we will promote. And there will be another survey going out to all area directors and contest chairs if you are going to use a registration form. And there will also be, and I know that there's a couple of, there's one training going on for that, but we'll have a training for that registration form through the speech and evaluation contest chairs. The last thing I want to do in the orange box, we've now had about 100 people reply to this survey, but we cannot negotiate or find a place for our live contest without having enough feedback from you. So this slideshow, when you get it in the DECM report, that's a live link right there. Must take survey now, please. You can click right into the slideshow when you're reviewing it and take that survey. It'll also be in the DECM report that I send out. Thank you. Next. As far as open houses, many people, 28 different open houses were publicized through the spreadsheet that I've been publishing every month. And Lisa, I'm sorry, not Lisa. And then so there's a survey for that, following on the footsteps of that way of promoting events through different clubs. Is we're also going to promote the area contests likewise. And everything on this page, when you're opening, are all live links. So you can click on, wait, is my area contest registered? And this might have one or two missing, but when you click on the live link, it'll go to the actual updated document. And if you haven't reserved your area contest by now, I know that VinCot already went through this. There's a number of dates that are already blanked out. They're up here. You can see them really tiny, 222, 224, 229, because 2 area contests are already there. So we can't have 3 area contests going simultaneously. The division contests are all scheduled. And I do suggest, I'm sure VinCot mentioned this too, or I think Hans did, that an area contest should not be within 2 weeks of the division contest. So your contestants have a chance to practice and be ready. So that's really important. Next slide, please. Of course, we are still using the Div 57 calendar, and any one of the links here allow you to register for each of the events. And you also will see the important blackout dates here. And I'll also include that in the DECM report so you can look at the entire annual blackout date calendar. Next slide, please. Of course, this slide is super busy. Ed has told me to try to follow the Guy Kawasaki 30, 20, 10 rule. There's trying to be 30 words on a slide, but oh well. Here we are. Just so you know, I'm looking for newspaper articles. One of the new type of articles I'm really looking for, because many of you have gone to a number of trainings, is a review. Did you go to an amazing training that you're like, wow, look at this, 100 words, 300 words. You can get into the weeds. You can just give me some impressions. That's what people want to know, that our trainings are important. And I want to promote not just district-wide events, but also if you go to a great club event, I also want to make sure that we promote inter-club communication and attendance at some really great events and trainings at the club level as well. Next slide, please. And lastly, of course, if you're not sure where to go, you're totally lost. Oh my God, it's the second Saturday and I'm not sure what's going on. D57tm.org, go to the calendar link and it's right there. And there's a link. You can subscribe to an iCal calendar subscription. I'll just put it on your calendar. You don't have to think about it again and just see it there. Or you could always go to the Zoom link right off of the webpage. And that's it.
Thank you, Elliot. Elliot loves his contest. So it's actually a conference survey.
Oh, I said contest. I'm sorry.
Well, you do love your contests. It's actually a conference survey, and we really, really are interested in knowing how many people would like to come to a live conference so that we get a place that's big enough and yet small enough, and that has something to do with money, which is a wonderful lead-in to Tiffany Dawn Jones, our finance manager. Tiffany?
Everyone. Next slide. So this is our district reserve statement from October. So you'll see our balance and our district membership revenue, which is $4,600 about. We haven't made any district deposits. We had some payments amounting to $662, and then we didn't order anything for the district. So our ending balance, we've made some money. So any questions? Okay, next slide. So these are the submissions that are due that I'm working on. The budget summary, which needs to be signed by the trio. Our bank signature form for the district bank account. And there's a 3-signer wet signature expectation. So since we're all in different places, this has been challenging, but we will indeed resolve this soon. And then the inact reconciliations that I'm working on up until from July to October 2023. Next slide. So I wanted to talk about these social engineering attacks. So we've all heard about cyber attacks. There are people who are infiltrating protected computer systems and accessing sensitive data, and they're happening all the time, and it's pretty to a scary degree. But there's attacks that are happening to individuals too. There's people that they call social engineers who use phone calls or other media like email to trick people into voluntarily handing over access to an organization's sensitive information or their personal information. And they do this by invoking a sense of urgency or fear. There's a specific type of social engineering called pretexting. So attackers focus on creating a pretext, like a fabricated scenario. And then the scammer usually impersonates a trusted individual and says they need specific details from a user to confirm their identity. And then once the victim complies, the attacker commits identity theft. And then there's another type of social engineering. It's called CEO fraud. And in this attack, a cyber criminal first spends time gathering information about an organizational structure and key members of the executive team. And it's similar to pretexting, but the attackers leverage the trustworthiness of the source of the request to convince an employee or a person to perform financial transactions or provide sensitive and valuable information. And see, overall is how I characterize what I've been experiencing. Early in my role as district finance manager, I received one of these social engineering emails, which I thought was coming from our trustworthy district director, Ed Cullen. I didn't save that email. I can't remember what it said. I wish I would have saved it, but whatever it said, it made me immediately email Ed trying to fulfill whatever it was asking. It was sent from a dummy email, but I added on Ed's correct email, and Ed emailed me back, spam, spam, spam. So since then, I've received emails pretty regularly from someone impersonating Ed. This is an example here of an email I received in November, but I've received a lot of them. They've asked for things like the district bank account statement, an ACH transfer, pretending that Ed's at a conference meeting and needs me to buy iTunes gift cards, make a Venmo donation. So this is an example of the email. So these cyber criminals just won't give up, but I'm on to them. I immediately recognize these emails and take a screenshot of them for educational purposes. And I mark them as spam and I throw them away. So my message is the same as your bank or your credit card company would tell you, that no one in district leadership will ask any of the finance managers or anyone in this district to perform a financial transaction via email. And if you receive a questionable email, check the actual email address to see if it matches the contact you have, especially if it comes from Ed. And then make sure if you're doing any transaction, you're talking to the finance managers and be diligent. So that's my message. Any questions? I think that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tiffany. And of course, you saw that came from a email called Press Board. Some also questionable emails come from somebody named Liz6768. Look and see who it comes from, and know that I'm not going to ask you to buy a gift card or any other cash equivalent. This is always my favorite part of DECM, when the division directors get a chance to talk about their challenges and their successes and share what's going on in their 6 divisions. And from the last couple of DECMs, we've had area directors also sharing what's happening at their area level. And it brings us all closer to the clubs, and it helps bring a team together. So if you're having this issue and someone else has fixed that, and they have another issue and you can fix that, it puts everyone together and leads to bringing everyone to where we want them to be. That is, empowering individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders, while we build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. I'm going to give Rose Curlin a chance to say hello to us if she would like. Rose, would you like a chance to be on the stage? She gets lots of chances on the stage. Rose, how about it?
Thank you so much. I am so pleased to be here, and thank you, Ed, for the invitation. I'm just really thrilled, excited, and really appreciative of the way your DEC meeting is run and the things that are being shared. So thank you so much for having me here. I'm looking forward to the rest of the meeting. Back to you, Ed.
Well, thank you very much, Rose. And I wish you were here, because you might be able to change those 7 member clubs into 8 member clubs. When Rose visited us, all of a sudden members joined. So thank you for that. Jeff, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Ed. I've got two things to talk about today. And one of them is something that I picked up from the Train the Trainer training that I went to last week. And my message for today is about getting from being a great speaker to an amazing leader. And one of the things that we don't really talk about in Toastmasters as much is that Toastmasters is about both speaking and leading. We do a lot of speaking, not a lot of leadership training. And so I've been thinking about how to make this work. And I have 5 I's, 1 E, and 2 D's for you today. Sorry, 4 I's, because glasses, vision kind of thing. And the idea of being a speaker in front of a bunch of strangers is about taking the initiative, volunteering to be a speaker for them. But once you're up there, you have to essentially pique their interest in things. Like I could give you a lesson about how clubs are beef, chicken, or fish. You can also inspire people with a message. And you know you've done it right when people in the meeting after you talk repeat parts of your message back to you. And finally, giving instructions, the how-tos of how to be a better speaker and leader. But the key to this is that recognizing you're not just up there to give a speech. I've been giving a lot of speeches for open houses. The next part is emulating. If you can get people to emulate what you do, you know you've gotten your instructions across. You know you've inspired them to do the same thing. And across the clubs I've been to, I've seen people pick up the idea of having an educational concept. I've seen people pick up the idea of having an inspirational moment. And I've seen people pick up the idea of just coming up with 2 words for their club. The next part, the hard part, is recognizing that it's one thing to be a speaker, it's another thing to give people something to do, the delegation part. And being a division director, as opposed to being an area director, means giving up that control to your area directors and kind of sitting there biting your nails and sitting in your hands saying, so where are those area director reports? And some people are very self-motivated and they'll do it for you. They're like, sure, no problem. That's a shout out to Pravina there. Other people say, well, I'm having trouble. And the idea here is that you can't do everything yourself, but you can't always delegate things to everyone and expect it to be done either. So it's not on them to say they failed you. It's recognizing that maybe you didn't get their interest enough. Maybe you didn't inspire them enough. Maybe you didn't instruct them well enough. Maybe you didn't get them to emulate you well enough or delegate. So the other half of delegate sometimes is being the delegate. Same spelling, different pronunciation, different meaning. So for today, I actually had a meeting with all my area directors and my assistant area directors, and I got them to tell me what's working for them and what's not. And not surprisingly, it's about the same thing as everyone else has. Low membership, people not wanting to sign up for speeches, people filling in roles. These are universal problems. But sometimes what one person's problem is the other person's solution. I want to put a spotlight on Abhishek, my A33 or 35, I can't remember which, I think it's 35, director. And he had 2 different problems with the same solution. One club, City Speech, Amazing City Speech Club, has so many members that they have speech slots booked out till the end of the year, and they're having trouble getting people their slots in time. His other club, Top of the Hill, has not enough members and not enough speech slots. So Abhishek and the club mechanic for that club came up with the idea of having Top of the Hill be an overflow and guest speaker club for anyone in City Speech who wants to go there. But the problem is that getting people out of the comfort of City Speech to talk on Top of the Hill has been our difficulty there. And recognizing that I also have Rat, who has, I think it was over 50 members as well, with not enough slots for speakers, and other clubs like Castro Valley that has not enough members and not enough speakers for slots, we can connect them together. Abhishek is also a member of, I'm blanking on the club name, but they also has, it's Speakers Bureau, I believe. that has speakers that they can donate to clubs, and he asked me to be a member of that. I can always get a speech slot at the various clubs, but that's because I'm an area director, division director, and I said I'm going to show up for any open house as your outside speaker. That's an opportunity. Be willing to talk about your clubs outside your club. Be willing to give speeches outside your club, and that way you don't have to be just a leader who speaks in front of people. It's about getting other people to do it too. It's about delegating and not having to be a delegate as much, and leaving an impression. And speaking of leaving an impression, I have Awadat Munj, our division newsletter person, available. Awadat, can you turn on your camera when you're ready? Because a newsletter is a way to also get your word out, create interest, inspire people and instruct people, and get people to emulate doing newsletters. Awadat, are you ready? He says he just joined. I don't know. I don't see him in the chat. Okay.
He might be muted.
Oh.
He has his camera on.
Okay. Well, in that case, say something and get the focus.
You guys hear me?
There you go. Here he is. How would it? Here you go. All you.
Thank you, Jeff. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. We have recently started our Division A newsletter. We already sent our first edition. The newsletter aims to connect Toastmaster members in the division, highlight events, and feature promotional activities and articles from the members. Our next edition is coming up in January. So January is the month of new beginnings and new resolutions. I'm asking you and your team members to send us funny, crazy one-liner New Year resolutions related to Toastmasters, New Year challenges for other Toastmasters besides completing their levels in the path, and how the Toastmasters is helping you to grow in this new year. You can send me articles or funny one-liners related to this. You can reply to the newsletter email or send it to Jeff Young or send it to Pravina. I will post these three topics in the chat. Thank you. Back to you, Jeff.
Heck yeah, what up? And this is what I mean. If you can inspire people to step up and pique people's interest and give them instructions, that's more than just talking. And even though Awadat is not an area director yet, I like the fact that he stepped up to volunteer to speak in my slot today. So thank you again, Awadat, and back to you, Mr. Toastmaster, or sorry, Mr. Director.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Lee Vaughn isn't here, but Lee has delegated, because delegations are a wonderful thing to do, to Ashley Harkness. So we got to see Ashley Harkness earlier in this meeting, and now we'll get to see Ashley Harkness talking about the division, and then we'll get to see Ashley Harkness talking about his area. So join me in welcoming Ashley Harkness, kind of doing a three-peat. Ashley?
Thank you very much, Ed. Like many of the divisions in our district and in some of the others that I've been visiting, Division B has its challenges, but we also have a very strong set of area directors who have been following along with Lee's guidance and making sure that we are meeting our clubs on as frequently as we can and finding out where we can bring in that one key element that can help them take the next step. I have in my own area, B27, 2 clubs that are low member, and some of them have Toastmasters that I've known for many, many, many years. So a question comes up, what happened? Well, in one of the clubs, it was a corporate club, and the corporation decided they're going to move. And when they did, a whole bunch of people dropped out. So the focus has to change to what they're going to do to survive. We're talking to them about that. Another club is a regular club that has, over the years, just kind of lost its way a little bit. And I keep telling them that if they would just get more involved in showing potential members how Pathways works for their success, that it's going to work for the whole club, and eventually they'll build it up. The other part of it is that we're working at the idea of getting area councils to take a club, which I have one very, very strong club, Diablo Champagne Breakfast, and ask them to maybe have some of their people go over and give speeches and take roles in some of the lower member clubs. Because this way, not only do they get a chance to give more speeches for credit, of course, but also get an idea of how so they can help another club. Because, you know, we're all in this together. I think that B will end the year very strong, as I've seen it before. I've been in B for many, many years, going way back, and there's a lot of great people there. One other last thing is that if you have a club that is having some trouble with membership, it may well be time to go back and find out from the people who were no longer there what happened and what they would say and recommend to bring back the strengths. Plus, any other help from the district, of course, is always welcome. I hope that gives you an idea about Division B. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Ashley. Susan Colburn isn't here, but she delegated her division talk to Deborah. And Deborah may introduce some of the area directors to us. Let's find out. Deborah Weiner. Well, Deborah may not be there.
She says she's there. She's muted.
Deborah, please unmute. Hold on a second. Yes, I will ask to unmute. There we go. Well, I'll tell you what, let's move to D. We can always come back to C. Cynthia Stott. Cynthia, the stage is yours.
Great. Thank you, Ed. Well, I'm excited for Division D. A lot of good things are going on, and we're going to have one of our area directors talk about her area. But first, I'm going to talk about a couple of areas where we don't have the area directors that can speak about it. And they have two of our most challenged clubs. We have two clubs, only two clubs, thankfully, that need club coaches or have co-coaches. And one of them is really, really challenged. It's only 3 members. And if they don't get 8 members by March 31st, they will probably be closed by Toastmasters International. But they are a Demosthenes club, and the corporation that they're located in, they're not a strictly corporate club, they're open to the public, is Caltrains, California Department of Transportation.
Right.
And so we're working on a project to rescue the club with possibly a speechcraft and bringing in mentors. And we've got a really good, solid people that are going to come and help us rescue this club because they're totally on life support. And we have a 10-minute speech already set up because one of our members at Demosthenes is a high-level executive herself, and she's able to book us with 300 executives, including the department chairs, on December 20th. So we're fast and furiously trying to create our communication plan and our rescue plan. And we have something in sight, and that's with Aaron Van's amazing area. And it's his only club that's really challenged. The other club that's really challenged is in Dee Marie's area, and she had to step away to go to actually a Toastmasters club meeting, and that's Vision Masters. And they have been very challenged. They only had 5 members on July 1, but they currently have 9 members, and as of early next week, hopefully, we just got to get the paperwork in. They'll have 11 members, and they will possibly have this newest member wants to create her own club. And so they will probably use Vision Masters as the feeder club to put people in there till they're ready to charter, and so that they can charter more smoothly and easily. And they've been doing a speech craft since September 14th. They've had the Better Speaker Series. They've had really amazing speakers, including James Jeffley, 2 times finalist with the World Champion of Public Speaking. And they're really going gangbusters. But, you know, there's a lot of challenges ahead. You know, we have, this is the last half of the year, and we really have to re-energize our people and our teams so that they can make it through the end of the last year, because that's really where the rubber meets the road. And in especially the April renewals too. So we're hoping for those for Vision Masters and Demosthenes and all our other clubs, but the rest of our clubs are doing an amazing, amazing job. President's Distinguished. Oh, and all 4 of our area directors got in their 100%, got in their reports. So I'm really happy for that. And great team. And Maureen, you're going to talk about your club. Oh, and Carrie's area is doing great. She's got President's Distinguished and on their way to Distinguished clubs. So she's doing great. And Maureen, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great.
Hi. Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you for letting me talk about my wonderful area, D12. I have 4 clubs in my area: Oakland City Center, Toastmasters East Bay, Shield Speaks, and Toastmasters Leadership Club. They're all amazing in their own right. They're all different, but they're all wonderful. To highlight, Oakland City Center has an amazing meeting the first Tuesday of the month. They do their hybrid meeting, and they have one of the best hybrid setups I've ever seen. They're fantastic, and I've gone to 2 of their meetings in person. I spoke at their open house, and again, I think they are within the gold standard of hybrid meetings. I'd really like to give them a shout out. Bette Bullhofer is the president. She's also our hybrid chair. Not a surprise that her club is amazing. Toastmasters East Bay is a different, unique club in that it was founded with a combination of people from Toastmasters International and the Project Management Institute, PMI. Its big hook is that people who are members of PMI, who are project managers that hold various certifications, they can earn continuing education credits by visiting those meetings. It's a fantastic way to get people. We've actually, that's my home club, by the way, but what we've actually started doing is going to PMI events close to our meeting date, and we talk up our club. We get more guests that way because that's how we're advertising within PMI. So we advertise in Toastmasters World, on Facebook and all the social media outlets. We also advertise within PMI. So we have 2 different sources for members and guests. We've done pretty well with that. Then Shield Speaks is a corporate club for Blue Shield. They're a pretty fun club. Their meetings are entertaining, well run, but it is at the noon hour too, and sometimes people can't stay or they have to leave early, but that's just the way it is. It's the nature of a 12 to 1 type of meeting, but they're a really fun club, fun to attend. They do great table topics and fun trivia and all sorts of fun stuff. Then Toastmasters Leadership Club, I've enjoyed visiting them too. They have their leadership moments. They have some wonderful things going on in there. It's a really fun group, always lively meetings, and I've enjoyed every one of my clubs, but all of mine are either they're very close to becoming distinguished or president distinguished. All of them are in their own way. I think we're going to have an amazing area this year. I've had one area council meeting. I'm planning the rest. We're talking about contests. I think it's going to be a great rest of the year. Back to you, Cynthia.
Great. Thank you. And one last thing. We have coming to Division D and Leaders Worldwide is Rose. She's going to be speaking at our open house about her leadership success plan. It's going to be amazing. If you want to learn from her, come see us. It's on Monday at this coming Monday, the 11th at 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I will post some information in the chat if you're interested. And I did post it on the District 57 website. Facebook page. So back to you, Ed.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. And we have Deborah, who is willing to talk to us about Division C. Again, if you look at the honor roll of the area directors who got their visits in early, you will find a number of area directors from Division C. Deborah, the stage is yours.
Oh, hello, everyone. Susan could not be here today, Colburn, so I'm representing Division C.
Mm-hmm.
And Division C, we meet the fourth Monday of every month at 5:30 with our area directors and to talk about their accomplishments and the clubs that they are visiting and to make sure they get their reports in on time. And they all have. Actually, all of the Division C have their reports are on time. We have chosen a date for our Division C contest, and we've got it in the calendar, April 4th from 6:30 to 9 p.m., 2024. So I would like to, let's see, Meredith can't be here today, but we've got Ananda is here today. If you'd like to talk about your areas, go ahead. Is Ananda here? I thought I saw Ananda.
Yeah, I'm talking about what? I'm not ready.
Was there anything you wanted to talk about with for your areas?
No, I'm not. I'm just the immediate past president, and don't have any areas.
Oh, okay. You're okay. Well, we've got Sheridith, and we've got yeah, maybe none of our area directors are here today.
Ray Gowan.
We got Ray. Oh, we've got Ray. Yes, Ray. Are you ready to report? I'm sorry. I guess I am sorry, Ananda, for the confusion. Okay.
I think I got my camera on and I'm unmuted. I'm not the only one from the area. We also have Rafat too from the CA, so we don't want to miss him.
No, we won't.
Yeah, we're the only two from the area C. Just learning process, learning how to do the club visits and getting that done. It's new to me. And I'm glad to have it done. It was fun. Now the learning process is a contest. And I participated in contests as evaluations contestant, but I actually never had too much to do with the contests as far as planning them. But it's learning to go to the Toastmasters International website and looking at the contest manual or whatever they want to call it, and trying to figure it out, which isn't too difficult as long as you skip some of the pages, quite a few of the pages, because not everything applies to me. Look forward to joining one of the meetings either Sunday or Wednesday. I'd prefer Sunday, except that the 49ers are playing, so kind of puts me in a tough spot there. But you did we do have the meeting on Wednesday, so I can do that one if the Niners are doing too good. Yeah, my priorities, I'm not sure what they are. If they're doing bad, I'll be at the meeting. But anyway, it's just learning. It's learning how to pass some of that information on to the clubs. Most of the clubs have a strong leader in them. Like Ukiah, we got a couple of them. We got Greg Scott and we have Terry Boudreaux. In Lake County, Lakeport Club has Greg Scott, so they're pretty well taken care of. And I have a club that Donica's in, and it's great to have a strong person like that. So the strength of the club, you know, it's supposed to be a member club coming together, but it really helps to have somebody that's really strong in Toastmasters and understanding the logistics of what's going on to bring new members on within that club without me having to answer all the questions. They have the answers oftentimes in their clubs, and that's what I hope for as I visit clubs and as I get to know the clubs. And let them know in Toastronics, they can ask Donica. She knows more than I ever will, probably. So it's great to have that, have people like that, to have Greg Scott, and Greg will help me on the contest too, along with some others. So in good shape, having people that have been in leadership roles that are willing to come alongside and help me learn. Thank you. Deborah?
Thank you, Ray. Okay, how about Rafiq? Are you ready to give us a report about your areas, your clubs?
Thank you so much. And I can see Elliot waving his hand. Hello. Am I audible? Okay. So I have 5 clubs in my area, from starting with Napa, Capital, Mare Island, North Bay, and Vallejo Valley Entrepreneurs Toastmasters. They all are doing well. Yeah, few of the time in 1 or 2 clubs of mine, they have less member in the meetings, but apart from that, they are doing well. They are doing really great. Especially Mare Island North and Capital Toastmasters, they are doing great meetings. I love joining their meetings. Apart from that, there are a few things about contest. Yeah, though I haven't declared in my, not in the district or neither in my clubs, but it is needed to be declared, the dates and everything as early as possible. Apart from that, there are a few things about concern, which is managing the contest. I'm preparing myself mentally, and as well as I'll be trying to brief all my clubs. And yeah, we are doing well. If any help are needed, I have so many of you leaders there. I hope I will get the support. Over to you, Deborah.
Thank you. You're both doing a fabulous job and as area directors, and we're so happy to have you. So back to you, Ed.
Thank you very much, Deborah, and thanks for stepping in for Susan. That was great. Sankar is here. He has lots of news for us. We spoke yesterday. Sankar.
Yeah. Good morning. Good afternoon, wherever you are. Fellow Toastmasters and executive members. I am a Division E director. I have 50% success stories and 50% challenges. In Division E, there are 4 areas are there. E4, E6, E18, E23. And then I put a request to Alan Mark, and he graciously, happily accepted as Area E4 Director. And he is also a VP of El Cerrito, and he's a DTM. So he experienced Toastmaster. So he happily and then willingly took this position starting from November. So that's a great help from me. And then the Division E contest is on March 21st. And unfortunately, Alan Mark is not able to join today due to some family activity where many families of his is coming from out of town. So he he said he could not join, but next month onwards he'll join. And then I have another area director, Carrie Keegan. She's very actively participating from the beginning till now. And I like her motivation. And then anything she feel, she always reach me, or in turn I'll reach Teros executive members to get clarify, and then she was able to move forward. So such a very active area director where she is able to handle it and then keeping well. Then Nilesh is area 23. I'm seeing little participation where he scheduled the area contest, but still I wanted him to be more involved. And then I have still one open position area director for E18, where Rahul Sansi stepped out due to his workload. He could not continue. So, and then as far as the club visit report, area E4 is clean, 100%. Area E6 is 100%. Area E23 and E18, I did not get any of them. So, that is the challenge which I am facing. And as far as the mini success club, many of the clubs have submitted, and one club, they could not submit it through the Google form because of the government agent or email address. So we told them to do it outside the that whatever office laptop, if he has a personal laptop. But he has sent me the mini success plan report. So probably I'll send it to Venkat Raman, and then whatever help he can do, please do. Those are all the main things. I think today I have Carrie Keegan. I would like area E6 director to talk for her club. Carrie?
I'm here. Can you see me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm very happy with my club. First of all, I want to congratulate the Databricks. I didn't know that they transferred 30 members into their club. They were having trouble with the transfer, and the fact that it finally happens. I will be congratulating the president, Lu Wang, for that. We're having a lot of things going on in December. Goal Achievers is determined to get either 4 or 5 points by the end of the month, and we're having a speakathon on the 18th to make that happen. We're having an open house for Sunrise business leaders this Thursday. Diana Ordonez will be speaking. We had some challenges with technology, but Sue Skiff, our president, purchased some equipment, and we're going to be a lot better with it. Our corporate headquarters switched from Zoom to Microsoft Teams, which threw us off, but we were going to stick with Zoom, and we're getting the equipment, and we're doing a lot better with that. We have a potential one member. I mean, all she has to do is get her paperwork in, and then she's a member of the club. So that's going well. Our other clubs are going well too. Walnut Creek Toastmasters already has 7 points and 44 members. So they're doing well. There's one club that is a fantastic club called Danville AM. Lots of speakers and lots of motivation, but there's only one problem. They hate pathways, and they don't use pathways. So I talked to the president about that, and she's going to talk to the leadership board and see if they'll give it another shot. And I offered to have somebody come and speak, and she said, no, it's not an educational thing, it's a motivational thing. They don't like pathways. But I tried to tell them that they could get all the credit they deserved if they participated. So I'm working on that. So things are coming along, and everybody has their goals and projects. So that's my report.
Thank you.
Carrie, this is
Yeah?
Sally. If you like, I can talk to them about how they can integrate the legacy program manuals into Pathways. If it's a situation where they're more comfortable using the legacy manuals, there's a way that we can integrate that into the Pathways program so that they can get the credits they deserve. Just a thought.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll talk to Kim, the president, about that. You know, I'm afraid to push them too hard because I don't want to lose them. I mean,
right. But if they're giving speeches, you know, if they're giving speeches, then there's a way to make that comfortable for them.
Well, thank you very much. I will get back to you on that after talking to them, because when I visited them in August, they had 4 speakers and 4 evaluators. So they're giving speeches, but they're just not comfortable with Pathways yet.
Wow.
But thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, a few things. One of the club from E4, they want a club coach. Maybe I'll pass on the message to Alan Mark, because they approached me, but since Alan is officially E4 the area director, I'll pass on the message to him. And then all area club have decided the area contest dates, only except E18. So I need executive help on that. That's all I have.
Thank you, Sankar. And just to reiterate something you heard earlier in the meeting, we have 3 clubs that have the status of ineligible, and 2 of them are in E18.
Yes.
So if you're here in this meeting and you have great thoughts about how to move things around, contact Sankar and maybe you can help him in E18. Our last division director, R.T. Kapoor, had to leave a few minutes ago, but she set up her area director, Priya Sastry, to give a report. So on R.T.'s Division F group, join me in welcoming Priya to the stage.
Thank you, Ed. So my report for Division F is that we achieved 100% the club visits as of November 30th. For Division D, we lost 1 area director for F28. So Aarti has been doing the extra work of visiting the clubs under F28. We've had very good participation in the division council meeting with all the area directors participating and providing their reports. I am from area F19, and I would like to give a report on that. So as an area director of F19, I've learned that a lot of persistence and persuasion helps members and clubs to participate more. So if you have clubs that are not sending the reports, not talking to you, be persistent and get on their books. I have 5 clubs in my area: Trident Toastmasters, Micro Century Toastmasters, Diamond Club, Pleasanton Toastmasters Club, and NorCal Comcast Xfinity Toastmasters Club. Out of the 5 clubs, Pleasanton Toastmasters Club has a very healthy membership, as well as they're achieving their DCP goals. So they're close to becoming distinguished. The next club that's doing well is Micro Century Toastmasters Club. That's part of the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. Even that is close to becoming distinguished, and they're working on membership. I've attended the open houses in 4 of these clubs out of the 5. The one club that is having membership problems is Trident Toastmasters Club. They have about 4 members, and they're looking for 4 more members in order to make their club stable. So if you're in the Pleasanton Livermore area, please join Trident Toastmasters Club. I can send you more information on that. I can also put Sandhya Belave's email here, who is the president of Trident Toastmasters Club. They meet every Thursday at 8 p.m. and it's all Zoom. Thank you, Ed, for setting up the Zoom for Trident Toastmasters Club. The NorCal Xfinity Comcast Toastmasters Club is a corporate club, and they are meeting regularly, but I've not been successful to make a visit to their club because they do not have outsiders for their club. But I am making every attempt to go visit them. It has been quite a satisfying experience the past 6 months working with these 5 clubs and interacting with all the members. Toastmasters is definitely the way to make new connections, and I can vouch for that. Back to you, Ed.
Thank you very much. And we're here under budget. It is 11:32. The next step is if you can leave, the meeting is done for you. You do not have to have your division council meeting now, but if you want to, I can open up all the breakout rooms and you can find your rooms. They're named, strangely enough, Division A, Division B, Division C, Division D, etc. They're open. You can find them. I would like to give you probably a half an hour, so I will close them at 12:02.
Okay, thank you, Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
Great meeting.
Thanks a lot. We brought it under budget.
Under budget is good.
Thank you.
And Rose, if you're still here, thank you for showing up. It was great to have you as a guest.
Thank you. I am still here. I certainly enjoyed the meeting tonight. I mean, this morning, rather.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate the fact that this DEC meeting not only expressed our leaders not only express appreciation, kudos, and accolades for well done achievements, but also demonstrated the realities of what's going on, because facts are friendly, letting us know that, hey, we need help here or there, and giving suggestions. I just thought that was great, because it's always easy to say great things, but I liked it how you were humble, Ed, and said, I really don't want to talk about this, but club status, and it shows we're all vulnerable, and it shows we all know that there's a yin and a yang, a dark and a light, and we need to deal with that. That's the reality of everything. And it was especially rewarding. Thank you, Linda, for having Ashley share another point of view of corporate club building. That was so insightful. And I've been in Toastmasters, like many of you, for many years, right? I see Deborah nodding her head, and there's something new that I learned. And as a result, I have invited, if that's okay with you, Linda, as well, Ashley to speak at the Region 1 Advisors peer calls. And I will put it out to the cohort region advisor, Baxter, to join his club growth directors together and maybe their extension teams, because we need to hear this other point of view, this other side. But so thank you again. I'm sorry I was a little long-winded, but thank you for inviting me.
You were not, you have the stage for as long as you want. The troubling thing is there are clubs you can just, and areas that you can just congratulate the heck out of. But as I said, in terms of the club growth, the difference between base and current, we've got some that are doing really well and some that are keeping the number to the base, and they have to add members to do that. To stay equal, you have to add members. And then there are a lot of clubs that are falling aside. And we have to talk about that because, as I said in my one slide, you treat clubs differently depending on their tradition. If they traditionally are President's Distinguished clubs, well, you give them what they want and praise and recognition. But a club that has 7 members, you have to use a different approach. And if we're going to,
and I totally agree with what you're saying. And there was a time when I was in the trio, and people didn't quite understand or get it. The Distinguished Club program. They're like, what's so big deal about that? They didn't quite get it. Whether we think that's odd and we're shocked, there are many who don't really get it. And so what I did with those clubs when I was a trio in my sort of designated sections to help fix, was that I said, forget about the word if it bothers you. What matters is that these marks of 5 or more is the only documented club performance that we can prove that our members are getting what they came here for. And when they connected that it's documentation that they are delivering on the Toastmasters promise to their club members, the whole world changed. All of a sudden, we had DCP goals being achieved. So it's again, taking back to Ashley's presentation today, it's a perspective that sometimes we don't see it in the way they're seeing that. And so it's our responsibility. I felt it was my responsibility to see it that way so that I could eliminate my blind spots and help them get where they want to go, because they're not seeing the road the way that I see that road. They see a bunch of boulders in the middle of the road. They don't see that it's a clear path. And that's the same thing with pathways. They see a bunch of boulders. They need the help do we go around the boulder? Do we keep pushing on it and shoving on it and getting nowhere? And that's sort of the kind of things that will be discussed on Monday, tomorrow, on the 11th at the speakers, leaders worldwide.
Right. I'm going to turn the recording off because